Hey everybody, welcome back to EXP. I'm Marvin Taylor, where I talk about experience leading to expertise and exponential growth. Today's topic, we're gonna look a little bit introspective today, and we're gonna decide, what are some of those character flaws that we need to identify within ourselves? First, I'd like to mention why this topic is even important. I think a lot of us get caught up in the eternal hater syndrome, where we think that everyone around us is just a hater and they're trying to hold me down and hold me back whenever they identify something about us that we don't like. Sometimes it's not them, it's us. Not all the time, and what's important about this video and the message I want to get across is that sometimes we have to look at ourselves and identify what we've got going on that we need to improve in order to make our relationships and our lives better. Sometimes it's not always the haters, guys, sometimes it's us. It's a tough one, but we got to do it. Anyway, let's go ahead and get to today's topic, those character flaws and how to properly find them. So when I'm talking about character flaws, I am talking about things that make your life worse, okay? I'm not talking about that little quirk that you have that makes you just a little weird here and there. I'm talking about things that actually are detrimental to your progress and to your growth. What are one of those things that I'm talking about? Well, number one, I'll talk about my own character flaws, I guess because I have to here if I'm gonna grow. But one of my character flaws is that when receiving help from certain people, I don't receive that help very well. If I am corrected on certain things, I can actually get pretty irritated to where I don't even want to listen to it anymore. Don't give me your advice, I don't want to hear it. I don't know why it happens yet, but identifying the problem is half of the battle, and I don't go searching for character flaws in myself. I don't sit around and beat myself up like, hey, what do I suck at? I need to figure out what I suck at today. No, it's not what I do. I just look for any character flaws as they come up. I notice myself getting angry or irritated at certain points in time, and I try to identify why I'm getting that way, right? So being corrected is one of those things that I struggle with. I also struggle with being too independent. Like, I try to accomplish everything by myself without the aid or assistance of anyone else. I actually look at, it's like actually been something that's held me back in business and at work and in different ways because I don't really like to incorporate anyone else into what I'm doing. I tend to just try to get all of the work accomplished myself. Again, the book up here, drawing all the pictures, figuring out how to lay everything out. And the only thing I had was an editor for that. And really it's hard for me to ask for help on certain things. So that has been something that's held me back in my progress. Why? Because most of the time, one person is not going to accomplish as much as a group of people can accomplish. And just the way you split work up, I mean, you can get so much more done with a group of people versus just yourself. Quick interjection. So as I was sitting here making the video, I was actually wondering, like, why is it that I, try to be so independent, and why is it that when I get corrected, I get so annoyed? And I think with the independence part of it, I think it's that feeling like you have to rely on other people feels like a weakness in some kind of way to me. You earned it more if you did it by yourself, I guess. I think there's some of that thought process inside my head. You deserve it if you earned it by yourself, but if you got it with other people, then you don't. I don't know. There might be some of that going on in my head. For me personally, because I don't even judge other people that do things in a group. I actually commend them and think it's amazing. But for myself, I always put that on myself to where I think, hey, I have to do this myself. And then the being corrected part, it only happens with certain people. I think some of that comes from I get corrected on something, but I don't feel heard. So if I feel like they weren't listening to a word I was saying and they're just correcting me and haven't listened to any of my input at all, then I get very upset and I don't really value their opinion at all anymore. So yeah, maybe that's some of it, but I was just thinking of that as I was creating the video. How to really work your way around those things is the next step of figuring it out. So if you're a person who struggles with that, you're very independent, you don't like to ask for help, that's something that we all have to work on together. Now, am I saying that I have the solutions to these problems? No, I'm actually not. I don't have solutions to how I'm gonna get over being so independent, or how I'm going to not get upset when I get corrected on something. But those are things that I know I need to work on. So far, the only way I really know how to work on it is just identifying it every single time that it happens, and every single time that it happens, just getting myself under control in those situations. Actually going through it is the only way that I will ever get better at handling it. Yeah. If there is any tangible tip of advice on that topic, I would say it's just figure out what those times are that set you off and make you recognize things about yourself that you don't like, whether it's being too attached to people or if it's being too dependent on people, if it's you get really angry in traffic, get really angry and have outbursts for no reason, you get really sad and super depressed. Just look for those character traits that result in feelings that don't make you feel like the best version of yourself that you actually want to be. And then once you find those things, just work to identify what causes them, what's making them happen, and then trying to slowly kind of desensitize yourself to those situations. Maybe put yourself in those situations more and more, and then using calming techniques in order to calm yourself down. Today's tangible tip of the day, basically go live your life. And as you're living your life, just start to identify those things that you wish you could change and that you notice are not the best version of yourself, and at least identify them. That way you have at least part of the battle solved, and then you can go to work on how do you fix those things. Now there's so many problems out there, I can't fix them all, but hopefully that will help you identify some of the things that you know you have an issue with and you would like to change. So with that being said, hopefully that video was helpful. It was just something that was on my mind because recently I've just been noticing these character flaws in myself, and as I'm trying to grow, those character flaws come out more and more, and it's something that you got to get over in order to get better. And if you can't do that, then you're going to be stuck and stagnant where you're at. So always be looking to get better. That's what this channel is all about. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.